Okay, so I forgot a category of disability under the gold/yellow stripe. So it's actually cognitive and intellectual disabilities and neurodivergence. I just did the neurodivergence part. So please forgive my ignorance. I did not know that it was under there. But I do want to go over the disabilities and how they affect people. So let's get started. Um, all right. So, intellectual disability covers a wide range of specific conditions, each with its own underlying biology, typical presentation, and set of strengths and challenges. These aren't just diagnostic categories, they're lived experiences that look quite different from one another. One example of a cognitive or intellectual disability is Down syndrome. It is the most recognizable example. It results from an extra copy of chromosome 21, a chromosomal event called trisomy 21, and is the most common chromosomal cause of intellectual disability. Then the next one is Fragile X syndrome. It is the most common inherited cause of intellectual disability. It results from a mutation on the FMR1 gene on the X chromosome, which disrupts the production of a protein critical for brain development. Boys are more severely affected than girls because girls have a second X chromosome that can partially compensate for that mutation, whereas boys only have one X. FASD, fetal alcohol spectrum disorders. This one was mentioned in another category on the disability flag, but this one is also cognitive and intellectual. It says alcohol exposure during pregnancy interferes with normal brain development, producing a range of outcomes from subtle learning and attention difficulties to significant intellectual disability. FASD is among the leading non-genetic causes of intellectual disability. Another one is Prader-Willi syndrome. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. It involves a missing segment on chromosome 15. The neurological disruption affects appetite, regulation, growth, and cognitive function. Infants are often born with low muscle tone and feeding difficulties. Later in childhood, an insatiable appetite becomes the dominant challenge. And then with Williams syndrome, it is caused by the deletion of about 26 genes from chromosome number 7. It produces an unusual cognitive profile. People with Williams syndrome often have striking verbal and musical abilities while struggling significantly with spatial reasoning and mathematics. They tend to be socially outgoing in ways that can mask the underlying cognitive challenges. So those are just the top 5. But there are many, many more. Intellectual disabilities, there are different types. So, there's different categories. So, there's mild intellectual disabilities. They have some delays in thinking and social skills. Moderate intellectual disabilities, those people need a lot of assistance. They learn slower and have special programs to help them with daily life. And then severe intellectual disabilities mean big challenges in thinking and doing things on their own. They often have caregivers to help them live safely and in a meaningful way where they are taken care of and they can still have a very meaningful life. Common disabilities like that, like I said, are Down syndrome, Fragile X syndrome, FASD, things like that. Let's see. So with Fragile X syndrome, people that are affected by it might face speech and language difficulties, anxiety, sensitivity to environmental stimuli, and hyperactivity. And for FASD, fetal alcohol spectrum disorders, some of the challenges they have are distinctive facial features in severe cases, growth deficiencies, central nervous system abnormalities and ADHD is also goes along with that. It's not like it can happen, but it's not like it's automatically there, depending on the case. Let's see. So that is pretty much all I have for this category. Let me know if there are more intellectual and cognitive disabilities that I missed. I'm really open to learning more. My next video, I will go over all of the stripes together, so that way you can see how they all kind of coexist in one world.